The Change Agency. Changes on the road to eternity. Change playing with fire. Articles about change and changing. Hi folks, let me introduce myself. I am Butterfly, the change agent and guiding force of change. Changing fear to love. Fire is the element of heat and physical movement, which is possible through this fire that you receive from the heat of the sun and the foods you consume and that go through a digestive process. Fire is the energy of the day and within all its activities, in your mind, body and emotions around you. It is the constant interval phenomena going from one thing to the next, and hopefully taking short breaks in order not to get burned out or losing your breath, for fire can only combust with oxygen, which it receives from your lungs, coming from your heart having to work to receive the oxygen. When there is too much fire being played with, know that fire dries the liquids in your body, dehydrating it, and through which endless forms of hardening and crystallizations take place, and you losing the mobility and flexibility of not just the body, but also the mind, and thus limiting you in the adventure of life. So let's be careful with the have to, should, want, need and must, and all the racing, forcing and pushing that goes with it. Be on guard to what you listen to or read, because when it is fear-related information, especially indoctrinating you what you should be and what you should have in order to be happy, it will affect the fire. Anything you cannot digest, or better said, deal with, promotes frustration and anger, and this relates to all aspects of your life. And realize that there is in general too much going on, everything goes too fast, and all making things too complicated. It is the fear of not being able to do and have it all, and the fear related to all aspects of your life. You are already defeated, or you keep going, stimulated by external forces and ideas coming forth from your upbringing and school system, based on comparing and competing, a world in which you became the predator and virus, stealing, taking and consuming the resources of the planet, and consuming your own health and vitality. You are the cancer and the abnormal behavior invading the cells of your body. Modern life is in the rat race, and with the endless additional fire boosters, the noises, the music, the radio, the TV, the cell phones, the heat-producing engines and devices around us, the artificial lights, and other electric-magnetic interferences, is definitely something to look at and to make some changes. Bringing the fire down by putting logs onto it will not do the job. Most foods you eat have gone through a heating process, taking out the fibers and many nutrients. The body now taking these nutrients from itself, and all slowing the digestive process down, and resulting the body having to work even harder, and which increases the heat. This and overeating is mostly followed by you wanting desserts and coffee to deal with this overproduction or unhealthy business, and or the fire energy pushes down and affecting hormones and sexual desire. Then, look in general at what you eat, and you're probably not even realizing that you consume close to 80% fire energy related foods and drinks. There are earth energy related foods, foods that grow in darkness and under the soil. Just think about root vegetables. There are water energy related foods, foods that grow up to 1.5 foot on top of the soil, Just think about vegetables, tomatoes, melons, pumpkins, pineapple, and strawberries. Then there are air energy related foods, being all the foods growing in the trees. Now we come to the fire energy related foods and drinks, which is all that grows and walks around on the earth reaching up to 7 feet. Here we find the cattle and the grains, the corn, the sugarcane, the beans and tea leaves. Here are the breakfast cereals, the coffee, tea, grains, alcohol, sugar, chocolate, the milk, the cheese, the pastas, the bread, the pastries, the chips, moist oils, butter, meat, eggs, poultry, fish, ice cream, spices, the sodas, and last but not least, the endless animal-derived products, and now ingredients of so many other products. This is on top of all the additional artificial ingredients inside all the foods and drinks you consume, starting with the genetic manipulation, the chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and the endless lists of preservatives, colorings, and taste bringers. The body becomes malnourished, depressed, lacking concentration, and looking for anything to feel a boost, and that again reacting and being hyper. What about the steroids injected in the animals that have an effect on the hormones, especially on children in their growing process, like too early the menstruation cycle setting in, weakening of bones, infertility, and conflicting with sexuality and sexual confusion, identification, and transformational mutation on a mental, emotional, and physical level. During your life, this intake of steroids continues with antibiotics, birth control pill, hormone boosters, steroid injections for inflammations, and through animal proteins inside lecithin, mono and diglycerides, gelatin and the capsules made from it, just to mention a few, and the endless list of dairy products, including eggs, inside most packed and canned foods. Then later in life, when the bucket is overflowing, getting confronted with unneeded menopause signs and symptoms, showing that the body wants to clean itself on all levels. Is this all not risking a way of crippling humans? What about the living circumstances of the animals, their unclean environments, their confusion and becoming numb, or the fear and pain they experience being slaughtered? And this in addition to the animal's nature that lives in the kingdom of fear, attack and escape. It is not just the flesh of these creatures you consume, but all this mentioned before as well. And all you eat becomes part of you and your life experience. Now we come to the consuming of animal protein, and not even going into every detail if your body is designed to digest it or not. If it really brings you nutrients and energy, or actually takes it from your body and costs more energy than it brings. Are your teeth like the teeth of an animal that eats another animal? Does your system have the enzymes to break the animal cells down? Is your digestive tract not too long to get this kind of food through it with ease? What about the waste that is left behind, the bacteria, parasites and worms? What about the acidity and the uric acid as a byproduct? Is this acidity not contributing to arthritic signs, symptoms and diseases, and making especially your kidneys working overtime, and of course dehydrating the body? Not to forget, when consuming too much food, too spicy foods and too heavy to digest foods, that the fire of the body is on max and you feeling tired after, and then taking another sugar boost in many different ways. Is this not another way of crippling yourself, the body and the mind? Is this not playing with fire? What about the livestock agriculture and realizing that most lands are used to produce foods to feed these animals, and God knows what is all done to the fast producing of it all. Is not livestock farming contributing to the greater carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas emissions, using an immense amount of water and as well polluting it? Do you still consuming and contributing to this all and find one excuse or another to continue anyway? Or are you going to make some changes? And when it is not for you, maybe for your children, for the animals and the planet. Heat and fire are necessary things for life, but when out of control, a downward and destructive road. Stop the crippling of yourself and Mother Earth, and stop killing what you actually don't need. Stop participating with fear. Just stop and change. Reduce the fire energy whenever and wherever you can. Maybe you have little influence on the stress at work or being in traffic, but you can definitely reduce the work and stress in regards what you watch, listen to, do, and what you put into your body. Look at fear expressed through frustration and anger from another perspective, and its real opposite, being love, which it is the real and everlasting essence within you. Call it love, God, or any other name connected to that something that created and sustains life. Find courage in and through that love to free yourself from any fear. Fear inside your mind, the fear all around you, but also find the courage to let go of the endless fear-related temptations, your habits, attachments, and addictions that you even worship.